So when we left off, I had decided finally that I was going to be Rooted Garden, that my focus was not going to be on selling goods from my garden, but on actually selling my knowledge, selling the experience and understanding that I had gained from working in my own garden for the last 5 years. So once I came to this conclusion, I got very clear on my purpose, my mission, and my messaging. And the result of that was phenomenal. So from January to March of 2016, my little business took off. I started helping so many people around the city of Houston with garden consults. I would design a space for them, set up a little DIY kit, or help them install the garden themselves. And things were taking off, but I was getting so busy that I could tell I needed help. So in the spring of 2016, I actually booked myself a ticket to California. I started looking for other businesses like mine that were doing business around the country. And I have to tell you, I could not find that many, but I did find a few in the San Diego area. And so I decided I was gonna take the money that I'd made. Remember, I didn't take any more of my personal money. So I took some of the Rooted Garden money I'd made so far, and I invested it to buy myself a ticket to go to California, to get a hotel, to get a rental car, and to spend some time with a couple of these gardeners who were running businesses like the one I wanted to run. I even offered to pay these people to meet with me. I was practically begging. I'm starting this new business. I need a lot of help. Would you let me pay you for your time to just meet with me for an hour or two? So 2 of them agreed. It was kind of hard to get anybody to call me back. I don't know why, but so I finally got a meeting with 2 of them, paid them for their time, and the advice they gave me, even in a short period of time, was priceless. So we talked through all the different aspects of my business, how I had set it up, how I was paying people to help me, even down to the kind of gardens I was designing. The time that we spent together was so helpful. I got to see some of the work that they were doing in their own spaces, and it just gave me so much clarity. So when I came back to Houston, I was almost like a new person. Like I had this vision, this clarity and understanding, because I had entrusted and invested my time with these people who were probably 5 to 10 years ahead of me. So it's almost like by taking that trip, it was like a trip to the future me, to get to see the possibilities of a business I could build and just to get their insights and advice. I probably spent around $3,500 to go and take that trip and to get advice from these experts. And let me tell you, that trip more than paid for itself. So when I came back, I ended up doing gardens that were $5,000, $10,000, and by the end of June, I actually installed a garden that was over $30,000. So when I got to the fall of 2016, so my business by that point was 1 year old, my business had grossed over $100,000 in revenue. What? So way back in the fall of 2015, I had taken $450. That's the only money I had ever put into my business from my own account. And within 1 year's time, that $450 had turned into a business that generated over 6 figures in real dollars. Is that crazy? I thought it was crazy. Guys, literally, I was planning on selling salad plants from my garden or salad harvests from my garden for probably $1 or $2 each. And suddenly a year later, I had a company that was making over $100,000 a year. Well, as I was growing Rooted Garden, I was telling the story. In fact, I used social media quite a bit to document the work I was doing. I have a saying that it's so much better to document your work rather than create work to show off. So all I was doing was basically just covering the work I was doing for clients, telling the story and sharing my excitement. And as I did that online, on Instagram and Facebook and on my own website, I started getting calls from people from all over the United States. People would DM me or send me a private message or email me or even call and say one of 2 things. One group of people would say, I love the work that you are doing at Rooted Garden, and I really wish there was a company like yours in my town. Do you know of anybody or any other company that's in Washington State or New York State or Florida or Alabama? All over the country, people were asking for a service like the one I was getting to provide for my clients with Rooted Garden. Then there was this other group of people, and they were saying, I'm a gardener. I've been a gardener for many years. They were better gardeners than I was. They were master gardeners or landscapers or horticulturists, or they were just hobby gardeners. And they're like, I've been stalking you for the last few months because I'm trying to figure out how you created a business based around the garden, because I want to do that too. So I got more and more requests from people wanting this service, and more requests from people who wanted to provide this service in a similar way that I was doing with Rooted Garden. And that message, the messages from both sides, sparked an idea in my head that I cannot wait to tell you more about. So in the next video, I'm going to explain how Gardenary was founded and the training that I've provided to over 500 gardeners over the last 2.5 years. So stay tuned for video 3, where I'll bring you a little bit more behind the scenes and tell you how the vision and the work that I got to do with Rooted Garden has now turned into a work that's literally happening all across the country. I'll see you in video 3.